I am Huntanor the Storyteller, and I would like to welcome you back to the continuing story of Emir Uzza of the Mediterranean Isles. His monstrous and nightmarish quest finally complete, peace still eludes him. The death of his eldest son and heir, Bakr, has driven him to the extremity of madness. Unable to accept the reality of the situation, he has found a sort of peace in spending time with the remains of his beloved boy. The people of the islands have found a respite in the strange peace of the mad Emir, finally able to get back to their lives and escape the endless war and horrors. Emir Uzza's actions have reverberated outward, leaving his children cursed with a touch of his callousness and cruelty, which does not bode well for those under their power. Okay, it is time to continue on with the life of Emir Uzza ibn Shu'Ayb. We have just finished executing all the people in our prison, and it has completely shaken up the vassals in our land. We're now in control of a lot of the territory that was previously held by our vassals, simply because nearly everybody had to be executed. The only guy who didn't rebel is this guy. He absolutely hates me, but he did not rebel. This is the son of one of the people who rebelled, and obviously he hates me. That's fine. I mean, that's fine. We need to find... I mean, everybody in here probably hates me. Like, there's this warrior. He's Catalan. He has a wife. They're still quite young. He's terrified of me, which means the fact he hates me doesn't matter so much. He is a Catholic. Let's demand his conversion and see what he does. I'm not sold on him, so if he asks for anything, I probably will just say no. So we are going to grant this guy this island. And then we're going to come down here, and we're going to look for somebody to grant this island to. Ask the game to generate them randomly. It's a Catalan warrior. He's my marshal. Will he convert? He won't convert. That's too bad, because I'd gladly land him if he would convert. It's probably because he hates me? Yeah, it's pretty much because he hates me. Just sway on him and hold it for now, see if we can get him over the point where he'll actually accept it, the conversion request. I'm just going to give this to my son. Like 50 short of being able to disinherit both of them, but I mean the disinheriting is definitely happening. Go to the younger son. Actually, you know, we'll do the older son first, and then we will grant him this title. We have no worthwhile stewards at all. In fact, none of the people that want to be on our council are worth putting on it. I mean, it's all fine, right? They're all terrified of me. I don't know. I have to get rid of 2 more places. Can't fix that in any real way, so we're just gonna... You know, I'm gonna do this. It's possible that doing this will make him pass the threshold where the demand conversion might work. Hopefully he accepts. He wants money. Yes, money, definitely. We want to put out farms and fields in as many places as we can because they're worth the most, so we'll do those first. Farms and fields can go there. We could put farms and fields here as well. Good. The goal is to have ports of trade and harbors of refuge for pirates in every single one of our coastal places. So do we want pretty or do we want robust? We're going to marry her. At Corsica, we're going to need alliances, and we're going to need a better military. I don't know how much I'm interested in having her marry some like super old man. I mean, I think this is a good idea. Yeah. Okay. One of the remaining Umayyad rulers in Iberia. Let that marriage happen. Uzza is a lot more stable than he was previously, so we are just sort of waiting for money to accumulate now. I will attempt to reignite his fever myself. That's too bad. And we have a new daughter, my son. Wait a second. No, that's definitely not a thing that's happening. Yeah, just gotta make sure that we're working on crop rotation, because this needs to happen as quickly as possible so we can get the mines. There's a lot of different things we need to achieve in this time. We need to get a bunch of piety. We need to basically prove to Allah that we are still faithful. We need to try to attack Corsica. My wife died, who once long ago I deeply loved, but I think my insanity and just us growing apart over the years has basically caused us to drift apart. I mean, it's hard not to understand why. I am by all definitions a mess. We are commissioning an epic. Somebody needs to write down our horrible, terrible history so that we can be remembered or renowned. definitely a family history, because that's the most ironic. By far, that's the most ironic. Yahya is our youngest. Toss a disinherit towards him, and then we will grant him a title right there. My two sons can try to figure out what their lives are going to be over in that territory we barely care about. Still almost 200 negative. I am spending money I don't have on this epic. I am spending money I don't have on this epic. Oh, hopefully it turns out good. Hopefully it turns out good. It is excellent. So we game this. Mayor Kidachronicon. Just carry that around, because of course we do. That's the most important thing that's ever happened. We have now written a family history that basically is a description of why it was that our father deserved to be destroyed, and why it is that we are now rightfully dominant over the entire remaining portion of our lineage. Oh, we're going into conciliation. I've been wanting her to do this so that we can start working on our hybrid culture, and I want Sayo to be converting the last of these that I hold, because for some reason I didn't do that earlier. I don't have enough spouses, but I'm not... I don't know. We are not a killer of whales. Not personally, at least. We can hire men for that. Cultural acceptance is less than 20, so we're 11 years away. Who's giving us the 20? Is it just less because of the fact we're conciliatory? That could be nice. You might make a good replacement as a doctor when Sanyo dies, which is probably going to be pretty soon, to be honest. To be fair, things are not looking that good for Corsica. Hey, what if your son marries my daughter? What do you feel about that? Good? Another alliance? So we're in the reconciliation phase, and we're trying to make money in order to expand our territory and our military so we can attack Corsica. Age of the World, I will consult with more imams, because that's just free learning. Yes, I will go to your feast. Cool. My youngest son can marry. What if I had arranged a marriage between your daughter and my youngest son? That's good. Warm welcome. I look forward to this. Yes, I do. Parties are nice. They make me forget the horrors that I've seen and the terrors that live inside of my mind. They definitely make things easier on me. Good. We're now at 150, which means we can build a trade port here. I will not rest until Ia is dead and buried. I mean, can't kill him because he's my child, but I can challenge him to a board game. You better accept. Me too, but you're my own son, so I can't do anything about it. Goddamn shitty kid. Goddamn kids. Always messing things up, plotting your murder and shit. What should I expect from my own sons? Oh, this guy's actually pretty good. Cancer. Oh, the time has come for drastic measures. He has cut her leg off. That poor girl. She still seems absolutely terrified of me, even though she's not. Her face just has that look. Wide-eyed fear a little bit. We've now achieved the point where we actually have enough piety that we could declare this war. You know, I think we do this. I think we do this. Now is the time. I do not understand your reluctance, Mufti Salernu. I do not understand why you will not acknowledge that my son, Bakr, is heir to Majorca and all of the other territories that I control. It isn't reluctance. It isn't reluctance, you see, Emir. It is simply, I have to consider, you know, it will be difficult to explain that in spite of his reported death, that Bakr still lives. Well, it isn't up to me to do that. That's up to you. You must find a way to convince those among my vassals who may consider rebelling against my poor son and causing him trouble when I am gone, only he remains, that he still lives. Can you do that for me, Mufti? Yes. Yes, I can, my liege. Of course I can. It is done, Prince. I have made your father believe that I was complicit in his madness. I pray that this doesn't do harm to me or you, this conspiracy. It is no conspiracy. It is no conspiracy to ease my father's madness by making him believe that the things he desires will take place. It may keep him passive for a while longer if he believes that Bakr is acknowledged to be alive by others. I am concerned. Your father's actions with your brother, they are in grievous defiance of the proper use and preparation of a body for burial. Yes, I know. I pray that my father's actions do not jeopardize my brother's place in paradise. No, Prince. I do not believe that is so. As long as the body is returned to us, and we can assure that it is treated properly once your father relinquishes it, then I believe all that is remiss now can be corrected. Corsica is going to fall to us. We need to ask every single one of our allies to join in. Timed to help the masked madman with his quest to rule the Mediterranean every single time. They're going to try to attack my freaking capital, to start and maybe even finish some of these sieges for me. Oh, he's changed his mind. This guy's just out here wasting my money. Literally just out here wasting my money. Fine. Fine. Whatever happens is what happens. Our warriors seem to be performing pretty well, although it sucks that our commander got injured. Get ourselves landed and get these sieges underway. It all seems to be going pretty well. Really? Am I going to have to chase him down and stop him from doing this again? Throwing away my money. Throwing away my money. Don't even like it one bit that you're throwing away my money. Hopefully some of you guys are going out there to actually do the thing, and you're not going to just go all over the place. Oh, really? It's fine. Fine, you guys just siege. It's all fine. I can spend 22 gold that I don't have. It's fine. I don't need that for things like building silver mines and stuff. It's fine. Everything's fine. Why would anybody be worried, right? Yeah, it's okay. It's just, whatever you do though, don't decide when it's way too late that you're gonna come and try to help me, because that's not what helping looks like. You guys just keep doing what you're doing, okay? Has wounded their commander, and we have once more done the thing we do. Don't. You're making this war take longer for no reason. Why would you quit your sieges? Why? You're too far away to help. AI, why? Why you do? Fighting on this island is like the worst. It's because the way it works, they almost always end up stack wiped. A guardian for my youngest daughter, eh? Okay. He's 10. She wants to stab. You know, we can just do this ourselves. Let's finish some sieges. Oh, Philippe, why did you die? Died of his wounds. Jesus. It's not acceptable for you to die of your wounds. You're only allowed to die of old age. That's the agreement that we make. When you first join me, the agreement we make is you can only die of old age. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we'll do it ourselves. Ah, my old friend, you shall be avenged, even if I have to do it myself. Our little trick up top, where we left a quarter of our army behind, maintained the siege, and we will be able to get these sieges done much faster than we would have otherwise. I have been murdered. Al-Andalus has taken over. This situation isn't as great as we'd hoped it would be. I am now dead. Dead? And my son has taken over, and my son is a very different man. He likes to torture people. Emir, it is finally done. Your father and your brother have been laid to rest in their tombs at last. I pray to Allah that they find peace in the world after. Do you really think it's possible for a man like my father to find peace after all the things he's done? Your father? No. I do not believe that his repentance was true. I do not believe that he ever considered the will of Allah, or grace, or spiritual cleanness and correctness when he chose the actions to take. There are lessons from this that you could also learn, Emir. Lessons? What are you implying? There have been rumors. What kind of rumors? Well, first, there are the rumors that you have mistreated the prisoners that you took at the end of the last war. Is that a thing that we do now? Can I not attempt to discover the vile secrets held by those Christian infidels? Is that wrong now? Because I was not aware that those barbarian Christians had suddenly earned Our mercy. Well, my lord. Well, Emir. No. No, I see your argument. I only fear, because of the nature of your father's madness, that if you embrace the violence, you embrace his way too closely, you will become like him. I will never be my father. You spoke of other rumors. What else have people been saying about me? Well, it is said that it may have been you that that Are you saying there are people who are claiming that I am the one who poisoned my father's food, that I killed him? It has been suggested. Well, it's untrue. I have nothing to do with my father's death. Your word reassures me. And as for the other thing, when the Caliph says that I must show mercy to the Christian barbarians, well, in the midst of a jihad, then I will obey. But I do not think that I will be hearing that order anytime soon. Of course, my lord. Peace be with you. He's not crazy, but he likes to torture people. He likes to torture himself. He's a much better murderer than me. He has a daughter, but he has no sons. Hopefully that changes. Also, who the hell murdered me? Wasn't you, was it? No, it wasn't you. Okay, well, at least that's good. At least we know we weren't murdered by our son. Just looking at what's going on here. So having his son is what's going to make this war succeed. Just enforce your demands. Very little you can get out of the prisoner. I have nobody good for any of these positions. You can be the chancellor, I guess. I guess you're the steward. Oh, jeez. I guess that's you. And then my spy master is this 14. Learn language. How the heck can you learn 3 languages at once? Let's deal with our prisoners first. Got a decent prowess for age 11. This is the Duchess. She's worth a lot of money. She doesn't get to leave out without a little bit of the chef's kiss. Well, he's also worth good money to his liege. But yeah, he also doesn't get to leave without the little a little bit of time in our Catholic-hating dungeon. And then finally we have this guy. He can be ransomed for 50 gold as well. Oh wow, nice. We'll get some prowess. We'll just let them all go. You can pay for your freedom. You can pay for your freedom. And you can pay for your freedom. Nice. So Uzza is dead, and Al-Adin is now in charge. He has tortured a bunch of people, made some unspeakable enemies out of people who might have otherwise just disliked him a little. I mean, none of them have rivaled me over it, but I think maybe they probably should be terrified of me. I am as dreadful as my father. I'm going to immediately create the Kingdom of Sardinia. We could create the Kingdom of Crete instead. Either way, it's not going to stay. Like, it doesn't matter which kingdom we create, because it's not about that. So we'll create the Kingdom of Sardinia because that's where our actual heart of our land is. We are now Emir of the Grand Emirate of Merkid. This is our court. Let's just put up our banners. We want to put up the house banner because it's more important, and then we'll put up the dynasty banner. This guy who we tortured. I probably, it might have been better if we had executed him, but we didn't. We need to just demand his conversion after everything. He should hate me to refuse, so that's happening. I'm not hot on putting Sardinians in charge here, to be perfectly honest. I want to put people of my culture in charge up here. Hold too many duchies? What duchies do I hold? I hold the Emirate of Sardinia. Do I actually hold those? Like, are they made? I do. Okay, so we want to keep Sardinia to my brothers. And whichever one of them likes me more, this one, he gets the title. Yep, that's just how it works. You get the Emirate of Crete. And you, finally, after my father's death and all this time, you can have the Emirate of Tripolitania back. Look at us. Look at this young guy. He's not the man his father was, right? He's not going to be nearly as destructive. I mean, he's still going to be destructive, don't get me wrong. He's still an awful torturer who probably is going to declare wars and kidnap people just for the sake of getting his torture on. But he's not a complete maniac who would slay his entire family because he had a bad dream. He's not that. We could give him that, right? He is definitely not that. It's like literally something I wanted to do, but I don't have any money. I mean, I really have no money. We're going to do it anyway. So I will figure out who's lying, but I may lose my position. So you went and you did it. Went and you did it. What the heck were you? Ooh, who the hell is this guy? I don't know who you are, but yeah. This kid. We didn't do anything with this kid. You can just go, but you have to become a Muslim to do it. I forgot that was just sort of like waiting there to happen. Grab a besieging army, and this army will be... Right, the person who could do that was my dead father. We take this army and we chase you up here. Oh, geez, that's not going to work. I have no money and I'm at war. I can't do it right now. So I think we're going to marry into the Abbasid Empire. I think if we're going to... Because there may come a point in time where it's useful to us to actually swear fealty to them. That might be a path forward for us. So if we do this, plus that could be an extraordinarily useful alliance in the future. Like, no question about it. Let's just merge this. Once we've learned all our languages, we'll start developing a relationship. Make sure our best commander is actually in charge. Okay, so let's do this thing. Oh, my sister died? Well, I don't want to do that. We win this when it sieges down. So whatever. If they siege down that island, they siege down the island. We're not playing on that game today. This is just ending as quickly as possible. And you've given up. That's good for us. Unquestionably, they have got together to do a siege together. Let's just enforce our demands here. He's back in our prison. I think we just ransom him again, right? Like, he is totally cowed. He should be terrified. The arbitrary game timer is the only thing that prevented me from torturing him. And I do look forward to it. I love feasts. I love them. We're going to be holding tons of them soon. Language success. I feel accomplished. What does he feel about me now? Good. We have really, really increased our steward's opinion of us, which is very helpful. I accept your gracious gifts. Yes, that was a worthy moment, and I thank you for it. We are now a mighty Emir of our Grand Emirate. Our future is looking brighter and brighter. We have a lot of development to do. Our piety is positive. Finally, we've aligned ourselves better with the Caliph and Allah, with our recent alliances and our recent actions. We do not yet have an heir. I'm not sure that I need another wife. I mean, I will have 3 once the daughter of the Caliph comes of age. Maybe his granddaughter. So, continuing development is the big deal here. We're going to put hunting grounds in everywhere to make our archers start being stronger. And the big question is, how soon... recent child is a daughter. Let's name her after my mother, Nuera. Nikki, I have a request for you in the matter of naming our daughter. Of course, my love. What can I do for you? How would you like to see our daughter named? I wish to name her after my mother. My father's obsession with his mother drove him to terrible extremity, and one of the consequences of that was that he left my mother behind. I understand. You wish to honor her? You wish to end the ill spirit that your father cast over your family? Yes. I do not know much about my grandmother, but I hope that with the birth of this child, both she and my mother can find some kind of rest. And there's blasphemy in that, my love. They have gone on to the next world by now. Yes, of course. Of course you're right, but still. Name the girl after my mother. She deserves to be honored. Of course, my husband. It will be done. The question is, how soon will we be able to attack Sicily? The big thing between us and attacking Sicily, I think, is going to end up being the fact that we need more prestige. Pretty sure we have to be illustrious among men. We don't need prestige. We need like permanent prestige. Speaking of which, we'll get some from that. So we're just going to make our way down to centralization and then get out of stewardship as quickly as we can. We're only there because we need to temporarily push our stewardship up. And because we want centralization to help us with our development. Developing our island capital is going to be one of the big things we do moving forward. Yeah, I've been nothing but trouble for this guy. I don't care that he's wounded. I don't care. I need the prestige more than I care about whether or not he's okay. Still kind of regret not executing him the second time. But, you know, this is probably better. My brother is doing well. Now that he is Emir, he seems to be doing well. My first son to his daughter, which should solve some of our problems. I do need a way to get an alliance with this dude. He doesn't like me, but that's not unusual, right? Nobody really likes me. And I'm not surprised. I mean, I have tortured a lot of people in my prison, and I just became Emir a little while ago, right? Some people are starting to come around, though. We're going to be the American culture, because this is America, and a lot of places, the culture historically associated with them is just named after the place they're from. Currently spiritual, so I think we're going to go to courtly. We're going to be taking Visigoth codes, African tolerance, maritime mercantilism, ritual friendship, and family business. We want, especially Visigoth codes, so that we can get an early high partition to calm down our inheritance problems. So we're probably going to move our capital to Sardinia, because that way Sardinia is a really big duchy, and so whoever the primary heir is will always get all of Sardinia, because they'll get that duchy. They get the capital and all of the associated de jure claims when you use high partition, and I don't really care about the rest, to be honest. I'm pretty much only holding Majorca and Sardinia myself anyway, so they'll lose Majorca, and we could probably just fix that by finding some way to pick up the last duchy in Sardinia. We have fulfilled our father's dream. We control most of the islands in the Mediterranean. There's still a couple of places that we're not in control of that we have our eye on. Sicily, for one, and even though we've never brought it up until this point, Cyprus as well. Yeah, I think we've been quite successful. There's still a lot to do in the future, but we've come quite a ways. Now that we have our own culture, it's only a matter of time before we can pick up and then fill out all our other maritime traditions. I think we're going to do pretty much all of them. I'm not sure that we're going to do all. I think there's 3 or 4 of them, but we're definitely going to do the economic ones. I really might change my court language to Arabic when I have the opportunity to, even though it's not one of our cultural language. Even though it's not our cultural language, I think it matches with the fact we're going to be probably moving towards becoming a vassal of the Abbasid Empire. I kind of like that direction for things. We can help shore up their strength once our strength becomes as high as I know it's going to in the near future. There's only just growth and wealth in our future now. Growth and wealth. And then once we have all our islands, we can become the protectorate of the Mediterranean and use that to basically conquer all of the North African coast, which is really the big goal of our seafaring, pirating dynasty. And so Emir Uzza has perished and left his island emirate to his son Ala-ad-Din. Has much of both the passion and love of his father's youth and the anger and vengeance of his father's later years. He has succeeded at bringing his people together, acknowledging both the culture of his Christian grandmother and that in which his father was raised, and in doing so, he has helped the land find peace. But he does not rest. He desires the island of Sicily and the far island of Cyprus. He wishes to dominate the entire Mediterranean Sea as imagined by his father. Men in his service, harrying and raiding Christian ships and Christian lands, strengthening the power of his people and the caliphate itself in the Great Sea. But his story is not over yet. There is much more to tell. If you wish to join me in those stories and the telling of those tales, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, and thank you.